Howdy, folks. Welcome to this week's Ag Report. So, this week we're going to talk about something a little different, but kind of farm kids or the relationship, in this case, between a father and son, myself and my son, John Paul Dineen V. But you can kind of take that for, whether it's a mother and daughter or a father and a daughter or a mother and son, whatever. But I'm going to kind of speak a little bit from my perspective and kind of what that means to myself, and then I don't know, probably years down the road, hopefully, what that may mean to John Paul. But so he's 13 now. We've been farming full time for 30 years. We raise wheat, corn, milo, run some cows, bale hay, that kind of stuff. Just doing what we have to do, or juggle, as they say. Don't try not to have all your eggs in one basket. That way, if you trip and fall, you don't break them all. Anyway, old wives' tale there. Um, but so he has been homeschooled now for a few years. Um, we try to make what we do a part of his schooling, and so let me explain a little bit about what that means and how that kind of grows our relationship. So you have government class or history class, things like that in school. So we were very fortunate to get the opportunity to meet with different elected officials, from state representatives to Congress men and women, the governor, the ag commissioner, that kind of stuff. And so we make a point to take him with us to participate in those. Now, he doesn't necessarily speak with those, but he's there in the room and he hears us interact with them. And from time to time, those elected officials, they will, either at the beginning or the end of the meeting, they'll interact with him and talk with him a little bit, ask him some questions and stuff. So I think that's a good life skill and a good thing to kind of see come from the page of a textbook into real life. And so in our operation, when we're planting corn and things like that, we try to use some of the math skills of counting the seed population and the depth and averages and things like that, again, to go from a page into a practical real life application where he knows that if that crop isn't planted correctly, then our income is going to suffer at the end of the year. So it's a real perspective that puts to him, that that mathematical equation of how much seed has a direct response to income, to buying groceries, to buying clothes and things like that. So he kind of gets a little bit of an understanding about that. And being 13, it's a teenager, and there's personalities, and I have to find myself, as his dad, trying to let him spread his wings a little bit. He's growing up, and as he's working with me on the farm, he sees, some of that deductive reasoning that I have to try and fix things or reasons for doing things. And so as he's growing up into a young man, he's kind of wanting to do some of that on his own, and he's wanting to come up with his own ideas and things like that. And so I have to find myself, not always trying to be the boss, okay, or the giving orders and telling what we're doing and that kind of stuff. And I have to find myself kind of taking pause and letting him do. If it's something that is not going to be, devastation to that piece of equipment or whatever, then maybe letting him try, trial and error. That's the best way that people learn things. And he kind of learns through that. He has his own ideas, and that makes him feel good for getting to do his ideas. And if they work out, that's great. If they don't, well, we're there to watch over him and kind of catch him or whatever. And then we kind of address that and go, okay, now this might not have worked because of this, or this. And so, that transcends into, a lot of things, like with our cattle. We do our very best, and he sees us work on them, give them help when they need it, maybe give them medicine or have a vet come out and take care of them. But he also sees that sometimes that isn't enough, and they can't be fixed or they can't be healed. And so as a producer, it's our responsibility to make choices for the betterment of those animals. And sometimes they're suffering, and the hardest thing we ever have to do is put them down to end that suffering, because we can't do any more for them. And that's a humane thing that we have to do, but it's very difficult. But that is something that, young people need to learn, and he has had to learn that. He's had to. It is a struggle to do that, because when you do that, then you have to go and take care of them and bury them and everything. And so there's steps that go with that, and that's a very hard thing to do as an adult. I always struggle with it when I have to make that choice, and for him, that's a struggle as well. But that's, unfortunately, one of those things that we have to do in life. It's our responsibility. We've been given to take care of these animals and stuff, and sometimes we have to make those hard choices. And so I think that's some things that life skills, if you want to call it, that he's able to learn through that. And I'm able to learn as well. Like I was saying, just trying to let him spread his wings, and sometimes chuckling and going, well, I was wrong and you were right, and being able to own up to that. And so that's kind of I guess where we are, and going through that. And, it's a day-to-day thing, just like all the other parents out there. All your kids are a little bit different. You have to learn over the years how to talk and react and interact with all of your kids a little bit different. And so, he's no different than anybody else. And we try and, start the day fresh and work through. And, it's you've probably seen the old joke, or on Facebook, the little meme, I guess they call it, sorry what I said to you when I was working cows. um, it, you know, it, that's true. Okay. If y'all haven't been on a farm and you haven't been, when you're working the animals or you're working on equipment, sometimes frustrations can get up there. Especially with the animals and stuff like that. And you've got to remember, whenever we're if we're talking about equipment and he's doing things with that, you're not talking about a bicycle or a golf cart or something like that, for $2,000 or something, or you're talking about a piece of equipment that can cost $150,000 to $200,000. And so when mistakes are made there, then it can be some serious trouble. But we at the end of the day, we give each other hugs. We tell each other we love you, and we have to go our separate ways and stuff. And hopefully someday he will look back, no matter what that he decides to do in life, and he'll look back and go, you know what? I remember those times, and they were good times. And hopefully he'll have some skills going forward, no matter what he chooses to do. So anyways, just wanted to kind of open up with you a little bit and share kind of what it looks like from a dad perspective, and from maybe John Paul's perspective a little bit, as you see in these ag reports over the years, him kind of doing things. And maybe you follow us on Facebook and kind of see some of the stuff that we're up to. So anyways, we hope you all have a good week. Hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the ag report there. As always, follow the Waxahachie Sun for each ag report. We hope that you enjoy seeing those. Y'all take care now.